of the process, where we did an exploration of the process which we will adopt in this current cycle, and we spoke about what are the various deadlines and ways to go about applying to a new application process, right? What we today wanted to do is, want you to talk to one of our past innovators who has been with us for more than a few years now, and who has actually built a great company being at ARTPARK. We wanted him to talk about what he's doing, and at the same time also keep the floor open for you to explore how he has gone about the journey. Also, any other questions you have regarding what we would really want as a feedback from an existing innovator, right? So with that in mind, I'll introduce Vamsi, and I'll just, or maybe I'll just let him introduce himself. And Vamsi is a founder in one of our startups, which is making IME units and other things. And he's one, I would say proudly, is one of the top 3 to 5 companies which we have here. And I'll let him introduce himself and take over on talking about what they're doing and also anything else he wants to talk about. Thanks, Vamsi.
Thanks, Neerav. Thanks for the sweet introduction. Hi, everyone. I would just like to briefly introduce myself. I'm Vamshi. I'm the founder of a company called Yaanendriya. We essentially also started a bit against what we have built. Right, I graduated in 2021, and then had a good stint with ARTPARK for 3 years, as Neerav was mentioning, working as an innovator. And then what we have, Yanendra is a byproduct of that. Essentially, what we have built it together. So what we do is we build perception, navigation, and control in terms of autonomy and automotive. We have been able to bring out 3 products that are right there in the market, and have been receiving well by the industry, and we have been also able to make good amount of sales with respect to that. So essentially, that's what Yanendriya does is I always try to tell it in 3 kind of statements. One is like, hey, just look at any robotic platform and it has 3 questions. That is like, where am I now? Where am I going to go, and how do I get there? So these 3 questions are something that we would answer. That's essentially what we are building, and looking forward building better things with the platform that we have created. That's it. So essentially, that's about what Yanendriya does, and things like that. But as Neerav also mentions, and the kind of kind of like innovations have been done through ArtPark in terms of bringing in people and things like that. I would like to share certain journey that we have been through, so that essentially that also gives you a kind of introduction about what it is. So I'll just say how we started, and what we are doing currently, so that it kind of closes the loop. So essentially, it was 2023, 2021. I graduated. I worked with an automotive entity for as a control systems engineer, and then what happened after that is when I was really working with closely with ISC on certain parts of things. ArtPark essentially came up with this initiative of like technical innovators like me, who can really think in terms of commercialization aspect of technologies that we build, and really onto the deeper tech aspect. Sensors are kind of interesting statements in terms of like what we import, what we build, and also the precision part of it, right? So that's where we figured out that there is a market. And when we pitched it to ArtPark, I think ArtPark really got into it, and then they really supported in terms of what we can build. So that has been the journey start with ArtPark, and that is essentially the journey starting of Yanendriya as we went ahead. So this is after that we have got enough support on one is basic amount of amenities, right? You need place to build. You need really people to really do analyze the market, give you some amount of insights on what market needs and things like that. So ArtPark as an initiative, what has been provided is there are specialist organizations. For example, there is a marketing team, there is website building team, there is finance team that really takes care of certain aspects, and so all these things you learn in an organization, and essentially that gave us what you can mirror into the organization and build through it. So that's what we were able to do, and that's one of the key points where we were able to get into it. After that, we built the products. We have a prototyping facility that was accessible to us. We were given space. We were also given mentorship in terms of professors from IISc. So that gave us a boost in terms of technology as well as that. And now we have been able to commercialize the technologies that we have built over the past 3 years, and yeah, essentially that's where we are right now. So I would stop it over here. Like any, I would like to just answer anything that you would have as questions or queries or doubts or anything with respect to that.
Thanks, Vamsi. Well, because we just have 20 folks, maybe you just raise your hand if you have questions. Happy to take that questions and, answer anything specific you want to.
Well, Nirav, how about I just ask the question in person?
Yeah, sure.
So thank you for giving that introduction, Vamshi, and good, cool things that you guys are doing. So I want to understand in terms of the support when you mention, uh, is there support from actual professionals from IISc as well? And in terms of commercialization support, can you give a little bit of overview how that happens?
Definitely. So, in terms of professional support, I mean, you have access to the professors inside IISc. In fact, we have a mentor from IISc Aerospace Department who really became our advisor, right? So, we started working with him, and he became our advisor in terms of providing insights on what is the real world problems that certain industries face and how do you solve it using academia based solutions as well. So that's one thing. You have access to the talent pool that is there with IISc, enormous IISc. You can there is an approachable door. It also depends on the kind of like problems that you're solving, but there is always an approachable door over there where you can access such professional mentorship and things like that. Maybe Nirav might add on to that. But apart from that, on the commercialization, essentially any organization that is, any incubator or anything, it would aid you in terms of bringing your technology to TRL 6 or 7. So TRL 6 or 7, it is about certain pilots that would be possible from the institution. For example, they would have an MOU with consider an organization that is big enough, like JBM Group or Toyota Group or anything. So what happens is you have a door to really access a person who is out there and then perform your pilot. After that, every single thing that you do is depending on your product as well as your kind of insights that you have into the thing. So that's what ARTPARK also does in a very good form because there has been quite a number of visits from the industry folks where you will connect and then whenever there is a product fit for them, they would ask you to perform a pilot, and then once the pilot is successful, then you would definitely have a very commercially successful system into place as long as it is consistent and it is performing right. So that's the aid that we can expect from any institution, and I think ARTPAC has been fair in terms of providing that opportunities, is what I would say.
Yeah. Just to add to that, right, Vamsi, Abhishek, way it also works is there are some contacts which we enable, but eventually it's also like startups actually really being aware of what industries they want to play in. For example, I'll give you this example, and Vamsi is a great example of dual use technology, right? So we got them a partnership, or at least we made an introduction, I would say, right? We didn't get the partnership because they had to do a lot of work to get the partnership, but with 515 Army Base Camp, right, which is Army's workshop unit in Bangalore, which is now planning to use all the devices in all the drones they manufacture, right? So while we made the initial connect, but then Vamsi and the team had to do a lot of effort to sort of validate their products and talk to them around where they can use and build those viewpoints, right? So that was one relationship which we enabled for them because there was something which we were discussing, and then that was for the broader ecosystem. But very interestingly, Vamsi actually found a use case of his product also in cricket matches, and how it can be used for cricket scoring. That's nothing to do with us. So it's in a way, how startups really be creative around identifying the right industries, asking the right questions, and then scoping it out, right? So while we'll have certain mechanisms on offering you certain mentors and other people to guide you, but eventually it's you who is on ground thinking on your feet and making certain things possible, right? These options were open to all companies. Not everyone benefited from it, but Vamsi and the team did really good on not only translating the defense partnership, but also identifying certain partners by themselves, right? So it's in a way a mix of both.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, folks on the team? Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Hello.
people please raise your hands if you have any question, and I'll go in the order in which they were raised.
Yeah, so I'm audible.
Yes, Vaibhav, go ahead.
I don't know, my video is not working. Sorry for that.
No problem.
First of all, Vamshi, thank you very much to provide the information about your startup and the journey through this art park from ISE. So I'm basically working on one of my startup. I live in Bangalore. Basically, I'm from Gujarat, but since 2016, I'm living in Bangalore. And my background, I would say I'm a mechanical engineer, and I have worked with the different OEMs. So now actually I have get into the product which is, I can say, which is a electric compact off-road vehicle, which I'm targeting to use for the different industrial use case, for the defense use case, for the commercialization in the different industries. So the idea is to understand, because I try to reach out to ARTPARK through the LinkedIn communication, and also I got to know that this is the meeting where you can approach and to understand, because take an example, my project, or I can say the startup, is not exactly right now on a prototype stage. I'm on a POC stage. I have made the 3D model, which can be in a manufacturable phase. So the all the components I can manufacture, hub motors from the supplier. So I'm in discussion with the different suppliers who can provide the in-wheel hub motors, then the controllers, which are the right controller which need to be used for my particular motor, and the battery pack. So I'm in the discussion with the supplier who can provide me the battery pack for the, so the
Vaibhav,
complete architecture.
Vaibhav, I'll just cut you over there.
Okay.
Maybe great to know that you're building a great stuff, but maybe
Okay.
focus towards the questions which you would want to know from ARTPARK side and Vamshi.
Yeah, so the idea is to tell you about this because this is the stage of my product, or I can say startup right now. So I wanted to know that which exactly. So right now there is a two platforms are there which are open, like TIR and SIP. And so which one is the right one to get into it, as the product not manufactured, or not the prototype has been manufactured. I have inquired for the Spark, Ignite, and Boost. They have already closed. So, what is the right way to get in and to approach the art park, to part of the art park team and to participate in that? That's my question. Sorry, Nirav.
Vamsi, I'll
Deep
take
in
that question.
explanation. Yes.
Vamsi, I'll take that question. So, Vaibhav, look, ideally, the TIR program, in fact, that was the where Vamsi came in, was
Mm-hmm.
where you come in at a very early stage and you have certain things to de-risk, where you're still figuring out what customers you want to go after. You have some knowledge of what areas you want to operate on, but you still have certain things to decouple or de-risk, right? So we give you
Mm-hmm.
some time where we don't take any equity and we give you some money, and that's where you participate in that area and you go through that journey. Doesn't mean that you have a prototype and all is not our thing, but you have certain things to de-risk. Until you can describe what you want to de-risk, we'll put you on TIR. Right?
Okay.
If you feel that you know your industry, you know your customer, you know your product, and you sufficiently de-risked it, you go to the SIP, which is direct incubation, where you just get equity. We take equity and we give you the money directly. Right? So
Okay.
a lot of this is available in our recording from our previous workshops. We will share that with you, and maybe that will give you a broader view of how we manage IP across the cycles, what would be the equity percentage, and what would be
Mm-hmm.
each of the program. And I'll ask my team to share that with you, right? Just in interest.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect.
So I think, so what I understood, TIR is a base to push in instead of the SIP. That is what I understood from your communication,
Sure.
Nirav.
And we'll share certain information with you, which will give you further details of that.
Yeah, because 22nd is the last date I need to submit my application. So I thought
We'll
to,
send that to
if I
you.
might get by today or tomorrow would be helpful. Sorry
I'll
to
share.
push, Nirav.
No problem. I'll share a email address with you at the end of this. You can write to that email address and we'll help you figure it out.
Perfect. And
Okay.
congratulations, Vamsi, before mute myself.
Good. Thank you, Vaibhav, and all the best to you as well.
Thank you very much.
Satyam, over to you. You're next.
Hi, hi guys. Hi, Vamsi. So actually, I had a longer question, and I think first part of that question has already been asked in the chat by Kaushik. So, which essentially is that when you had when you had joined the art park, what was your TRL level and how what was the team size, etc. But I just also want to know that today what's the team size, and have you like physically moved out of Art Park into a say, independent office, or are you still physically operating out of Art Park?
Okay, there's a layered answer to it. First thing is, probably am the right guy to, say that when I came to Art Park, my TRL was less than two, right? Because we had an idea, no prototype, and it was essentially, because that idea was clear from top to bottom on execution side. So they really appreciated the idea, and then it was TRL 2 to 3 was when we really looked at it, because we had done base R&D and everything. Uh, at that time, it was one person. There is one more person along with me who entered Art Park along with me. So it was two. Right now, the team size is around 15. Uh, while the other thing is, will we be staying in Art Park, or we have given an advance for, place outside. We'll be moving out quite soon. Essentially, that's other one. I think people are more interested right now. When will we? We will definitely look at it.
Yeah,
But
like that's what I just want to know. Like, what's the like how do companies usually approach that? What's a right time to go beyond the incubator?
okay, see, I think it will come from. I'll come from my perspective, right? So, an incubator essentially gives you all the aiding mechanisms to really create a better company. Is what my understanding of an incubator is. They have aiding, they have funding. It can be access to facility. It can be access to people. It can be access to pilot customers. That's essentially the thing. As long as the person is clear on what product he's going to bring, and clear on the execution cycle of it. It doesn't mean uh, I should have a clear timeline of when the product is going to come, and I prepare accordingly, and I should convey the same thing to the incubator that, look, this is where my plan is, this is where I'm going to reach TRL 8 9, and this is where I need, in all these levels, I need these help. For example, TRL 3 you would have a prototype, but then TRL 4 5 you need a certain kind of facility to test it, validate it, and 6 7 you need certain pilot customers, and 8 you need commercial scale to really put on. So everything, essentially, what I would say is, as long as you're clear on the problem statement that you are having, and you have the clear execution cycle of how you are going to achieve what you're trying to do, and with a commercial plan, there is, I mean, entrepreneurship, as I understand, and probably everyone would say that it is towards commercialization. Without commercialization, there's nothing. So if you have a clear plan to it, then definitely you can start with it. I think I don't see any other hindrances. With approaching an incubator, would be right approach would be at TRL 3. I would not like to take that approach of TRL 2 and less than 2, because we had certain amount of lessons that we had learned. So TRL 3 and 4, if you have reached, and then that is the very right time to really approach an incubator and say, hey, I need now to scale to TRL 6 7, and then move beyond it. That's if that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah. Vamshi. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Atul, you can go next.
So, hi guys, I am Atul. So, we have two of us have co-founded a company, right, which is undergoing incorporation. We have a block made a anti we made a blockchain model, right, which is quantum resistant, and we have tied it up with conversational AI. So we have the product ready, the prototype is ready. We are basically right now trying to see where all industries it can help us. Like we are trying for the product market fit right now. So one of the way I got to know about Art Park is by Tejeshwar. I don't know if you guys know him, right? So that's how I got to know about Art Park. So we're planning to apply for the 22nd May cycle, right? So my question was, do you need incorporation, or can we just apply?
That's neither.
Yeah, it's not. So if you're applying as TIR, you don't need an incorporation. If you're
Mhm.
applying as SIP, you feel you are eligible for SIP, but you don't have an entity. We give you 1 month or so to register an entity if you're selected.
Got it. So is there anything we need to know before, because we don't know which exactly the market we're going to help, but we've made a made a prototype model for the defense security, right? So,
For us, TIR is founder first. If
okay.
founder which has an edge,
Mhm.
and if you've done something in life, either you are built something or you have a differentiated skill or something, we
Mhm.
will still decide to back you to the best of our ability, right? If we have the money and the capacity, we'll back you up.
Okay.
The SIP is more of, backing entrepreneurs who have figured things out. While
Mhm.
TIR, we know because it's still at a very idea stage. People like Vamsi, we back Vamsi as a person, right?
Got it.
Now, when I meet Vamsi, it's like I learn a lot of things from him. It's like really good to catch up. So that's the type of people we are trying to get in. So it's more
Got it.
cultural rather than, where you are in the journey when it comes to TIR.
Perfect. So, okay. So our situation now is we've been building this from, I think, 1.5 years, right? So we've run out of all resources right now. So my question is, should we go for a TIR or an SIP?
Well, you can apply to any which you feel is the most. We won't really be in a best position to help you decide where you should apply. As I said, if you feel that you have some things to do and you can create a milestone of 6 months or 12 months on things you want to close before you pitch to an investment committee, you
Right.
can apply as a TIR. But if you feel you have figured out everything, you are in position to apply to like pitch to an investment committee, you can apply for an SIP.
Okay.
We
So
generally don't guide that, but if you apply for a TIR and we feel you are better when you're mature enough, we'll push you into SIP.
got it. And another, lastly, I wanted to ask you, so we'll be applying for a TIR, which is, I think, the 22nd May is the deadline, right?
We'll extend it by 2 to 3 days. So it will be till end of Sunday-ish is what you can apply.
Okay.
Because we
Got it.
won't review it on Sunday, we thought we'll just let it till Sunday.
Got it. Got it. So, is there any possibility the turnaround period can be a little fast because we're really hitting a
Yeah, just write to us. I shared my email. Happy to send you anything tonight. Right?
okay, tonight, as in, I'm asking about the turnaround period after the application.
After the application is 1 month. We can't
1 month.
change that
Okay.
because we have certain people who get involved in the vetting who are experts, both from the
Mhm.
technology and VC side.
Okay.
And their involvement and their time sort of makes it a challenge to close it before a month.
Got it. So I think we'll apply by 22nd.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Imtiaz, over to you.
Hello. So, myself, Imtiaz, I'm the co-founder of Exotronic Innovation. So, just to put it simply, we develop robotic suit for healthcare purpose, basically B2B hospital side of things. And currently, we are in a clinical validation stage, and we have a functional version of the device developed by us. So, right now, we are at a stage where we need a physical space to progress further is in terms of the regulatory certification or like an permanent space. So Art Park become our top one place that we wish we could be. And I want to understand what are the criteria or the, what can I say? What factors can lead to rejection from getting an invitation under Art Park?
Imtiaz, let me see if I understood your question well, right? Are you asking what are the criteria for us you to apply and get selected at ARTPARK?
So what are the things that basically Art Park for this program looking the startup to get selected?
Yeah. Okay. We covered this in our previous one where we sort of go like Raghu was taking those webinars and who is our CEO, and he has a very detailed approach to each one of them. I've shared my screen with the questionnaire we asked and why are we asking those questionnaires. But in a nutshell, if I have to just highlight that, we do assess three things. One is the impact of your problem statement, like where you want to really play on a broader level. Uh, you know, Bit of understanding of what could be the potential solution. And mainly, the most important parameters is your technology depth, right? How well you know a particular technology and what differentiate you as a technology innovator and what could really give you an edge to solve a particular problem when it comes to executing, right? So for example, if you're building a humanoid, uh, you know, you having the skills to build a humanoid is more important rather than, what type of humanoid you want to build, right? So we would see, okay, humanoid is a big industry. Understand some degree of the solutioning, and you have the skills to build a humanoid. That's our way to look at it.
Yeah, perfectly understood. So one last question. So other than the TIR and the SIP, which I have defined, is there any other way that you can get incubation into art? Just one to find.
I didn't get your question. Sorry.
So other than this program called TIR and the SIP, is there any other way to get into
No, we
incubation?
just support -1 to 1 journey. -1 to 0 is TIR, 0 to 1 is SIP.
So the only way to get into ARTPARK is either to these two programs.
Naveen,
Understood.
over to you. Guys, please try to not ask procedural questions. We'll share a recording. I've shared an email also because it's not the best use of Vamsi's time. We could do
Good.
that over a question, right? Over the email, right?
Thank
you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Naveen, and I was just wondering, like, going through the meeting here, the kind of startups that get built are robotics and sensors and all these stuff. I'm building an AI startup based on a product in the real world, and I was wondering where that stands in terms of technology transfers. Would IISc play a role? Would ARTPARK play a role? Or and also, can you also talk to me a little about the kind of assistance we would receive from professors at IISc, and on whether IISc would be open to us recruiting students for our startup from there?
Vamsi, you want to take a stab? I think you can.
Yeah. This I can.
Yeah.
Essentially, what I mean, technology transfer is definitely something that you and IISc should figure it out. So this ARTPARK definitely facilitates a channel. Probably that's there, but it is between the two entities, right? So that's something that you can do, and you have access to the talent pool. You would keep receiving. Marketing team is doing a great job in terms of providing those informations of what IISc is looking for, in terms of sending mails. Okay, these are the students who, I mean, there's an opportunity to really hire summer internships from IISc and things like that. So there is an open opportunity with respect to that. And if you are associated with any professor or anything like that, all those people who are coming over to their internship are a talent pool that you can access in terms of any solutions that you want to build. In terms of assistance, essentially, when someone as young as you and me are building, we need two things. One is reviews, and we need certain amount of confidence factor to really back us up, right? So what you can expect from in terms of assistance is definitely performing certain amount of reviews as well as certain amount of confidence building for the technology that you're building. If I understand, if you're building a physical layer of AI in terms of the robotic subsystems, then definitely you need someone to understand or provide you with the security layer of that as well. That means how secure is your physical layer. So let's say you go to a professor, you approach a professor who has a great amount of experience with respect to that aspect. You will definitely get the validation that you need, and backing and validation with such a experienced person would boost your confidence and your customers' confidence. Essentially, you're going to deploy it over there. So that's where you can expect, and essentially that's the thing.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Great.
Harish, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, Vamsi, and thanks for explaining your journey. So, two questions. One is, when you talked about the interaction with the advisors, right? Uh, just to get a sense, so how frequent are they? How are these reviews done? I understand broadly there are overall, quarterly reporting cycles. Reporting probably is a wrong word, but review cycles, but more at the ground working level. What's the level of interaction that you have with the academic community, your specific advisor, and so on? Just give me a sense of that. That's one. And the second question I had is, now that you've spent 12 months or so, I suppose, through the TIR journey, so to speak, or however long that might have been, what were your key challenges that you sort of faced during this time? I think you briefly alluded to the fact that, probably at the get-go, it was probably a little immature and you had to sort of, work on the product a little bit before you got to TRL3. But outside of that, any other specific challenges that you feel is useful for us to know as we sort of look to embark on this journey? Were the two questions I had.
Great. I think on the first question, it definitely depends on the rapport that you have with the kind of like advisor, right? So you can, as frequently as a daily basis, you can really have conversations. But maybe it is not reporting per se, because it's giving advice and taking advice are two different aspects. So they are not there to give advices. Whenever we want, we can approach and take advices. So that's essentially the case. So what I kind of understand with respect to any professor is they're open for all the questions and queries, and even they are trying to solve the problems along with you. So I think that's definitely a key differentiator between an industry and an academia, because academia always try to solve problems.
So that's
Uh,
good to know. So suffice to say that there is constant and regular feedback, in short, right? I mean,
I think,
interaction.
yeah,
And it depends on you in some sense, is what you're saying.
absolutely, it completely depends on your rapport with the person that
Yeah,
you're dealing with.
understand.
That's
Understand.
one thing.
Mhm.
While I have around 3 years of journey with ARTPARK, so we were the first cohort that ARTPARK
Okay.
hosted. So kind of like, see, it's a journey that everyone will have a journey and lessons and everything. So I was just telling to someone that every single day you actually chase challenges, and you really get something or the other learnings out of it. It's definitely right that whenever you approach a problem, because in an entrepreneurial journey, approaching a problem in the right mindset helps. It is not just about approaching the problem, but also you should have backing of your mindset key. Hey, whatever happens, I need to solve this problem, because essentially what happens is you will have hurdles. See, whatever help ArtPark does, or whatever help IIC does, or industry does for you, at the end, what happens is if the product has certain amount of market fit in terms of what you're building, then everything goes smooth. But to get to that level, you need to interact with, I would say, hundreds of people in my case. So you have to keep interacting with the customer. So that's something that I always I learned and I implemented over the journey, that you keep interacting with the customer, because it really gives you a better understanding of what you're building. Apart from that, I think team also plays a very important role, because you have to find right team at the end of the day. Because see, I am 26, I'm 26, and handling a team of who has 37-year-old or 40-year-old or anything with an experience and everything, it's definitely a challenge, because experience versus certain amount of expertise is something that you deal with. So having right team, having right mindset really churns out the process and things, right. And trust me, I mean, whatever I say, whatever you do, the process is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
You will
Um,
have everything.
just to add on that, so from a application process perspective, what do you think worked for you in that sense? I mean, just is there anything that one needs to keep in mind, not from a procedural standpoint, but more in terms of, because I'm guessing a lot of us who probably are applying to TIR, now that we understand the application process, are broadly maybe in, I would assume, in the same bucket, so to speak. But anything from an application itself standpoint that you feel one needs to keep in mind, for somebody to have a better chance of getting into the program, so to speak.
Uh, I think it might be too much of syllabus giving out, right? So,
No, I
but
mean,
Also, I don't know, Vamsi, if we revealed that to you.
yeah. So
yeah.
I think only generic thing that I would say is as Neera was mentioning, when you look at TIR, they look at founders. So if the founder mindset is to really solve the problem with all the hurdles really taken care of, then TIR really doesn't care about anything else. It's the founder mindset. While when you look at startup incubation program or anything, that definitely needs the team to be arrived. Like you need to have the right team, and you need to have that. The team should have the right mindset of solving the problem, because it's essentially getting incubated and really forming an association strong enough with that part, right? So as long as you have the right product market fit, and right mindset, I don't see any other challenge. I think that's like full syllabus only. There's nothing else apart from that. It's like basic tick one, tick two, tick three, and then you're there.
Sounds good. All the best, Vamsi. Yeah,
Thank you, and same to you, Harish.
thanks.
Okay, yeah, sure, what do you?
Yeah, so this is more of a practical question for you, Vamshi. So basically, since Art Park is a government affiliated organization after all, so have you faced any bureaucratic hurdles like delay in release of funds or not able to get permission to do certain things, like annoying stuff like this, because it's a consideration. Because let's say I get accepted and then there's certain delays or hurdles that would delay my journey. So something I would like to consider before applying.
Okay, great. I think I would give you a honest answer. So any kind of institution will have will have this problem. This is not a government institution per se. This is a Section 8 institution. So it is not a government organization per se, but it is definitely depending on funds from the government institutions. I think Nirav might elaborate on it. So essentially, the funds doesn't come from all the VCs or anything all the time, right? So you have government institutions like DST, GOK, and then certain other factors coming into play. So everything we have faced in 3 years, every hurdle that is possible from budget, like there was a budgetary constraint, there was small constraints with respect to the time and everything. But what really stood out was ki ARTPARK really provided that there was no much of a bigger hurdle. Let's say there is a hurdle with respect to fund release or something like that, they would adjust it ki, hey, at least let's take care of these procurement procedures, or let's take care of this salaries first and then go to the next cycle. So it's definitely something that happens. You must be braced up for that. But I think ARTPAC as an institution has enough levers and enough people with specialization to really take care of it from their side, because at the end of the day they are here to support everyone who is working. So I think they understand it fairly well.
Yeah, I agree. We are funded of taxpayers' money, and there is sometimes a delay of getting the money into a bank, right? That being said, if it comes to a account, we are quick to disburse it out. The good thing, as Vamsi pointed out, the TIR account is a expense account. It's not like if you're getting a particular check, right? We go up to 1 crore for TIRs also, right? If the idea is that big. So if we set aside 1 crore for particular TIR, we put that as an expense account outside. So it's not like that 1 crore has to come to you immediately, right? And as Vamsi mentioned, we are funded by MHI, GOK, DST, all those folks, right? So now if I just to get you started, I can, put some money aside and get you started, maybe like even 20 lakh rupees, right? So it's quite relative. Yes, we face that issue. Not more than 2 months is what we have delayed by, apparently. But yes, we after many a times we face that issue where the money is a bit delayed just because it's out of our control, right? Not come from the bank. Okay. I'll go
Yeah,
next.
so
Yeah.
I have a question, either Vamsi or Nirav, who I don't know who will attend, to understand once we will enroll for the art park. So when we start all the process, so there will be an investment part, that is what you are talking about. So it is comes as a grant, or maybe would be a part of a equity sharing basis, or how exactly the art park support in this journey of the startup.
Vaibhav, I think this question should be like available on our website also. No, the TIR is a equity is a grant. We don't take any equity for TIR, and we take equity when you move and officially launch your startup.
Okay.
Okay, Abhishek.
Yeah. Actually, Nirav, probably a better question for you, and because this is probably the last session, so important to ask as well. Um, I actually was filling the application. I see some of the questions like, describe the solution and then share some genuine, rare insights, then critical milestones. All these are subject to change as we go along, and I mean, I've done the best possible research, and I've consulted with multiple industry professionals to really jot down and get into the weeds of the problem. So in this case, Nirav, how will that evaluation work? Because it should not be held against an entrepreneur, right? If they have actually thought through something.
It doesn't. I don't know, Vamsi, you want to talk about where you started and where you ended? That will give people a view of, In fact, Vamsi said he was TRL 2, so he didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Vamsi can give you a sense of how the journey was. That's the best case study to wrap up with.
Essentially, I think I just probably reiterate the story that I said, right? So when we started, we had an idea, we had a very strong positioning. and there was a competitor that we were aiming at. So the segment was very clear for us where we are aiming, and essentially what we were able to pull out in terms of like that kind of strategy is to talk to multiple customers and then get our feedback form right. And ARTPARK as an entity has provided us the access point. So as Neera was mentioning, there was introductions that were done to initial customers who were able to validate what we are trying to do and things like that. And we had great interactions with industry professionals who would just visit, right? So it's an organization and it's a garage as we speak. So garage, a lot of people visit who are really good professionals. So you would have a kind of advice coming from them as well. Ki, hey, you're looking at this problem, but essentially this problem has this kind of hindrance coming into play. So all these, whatever we lacked in experience, we made out with the accelerated experience coming into play. And right now we are essentially able to ship. We shipped around 750 products last year. So we are aiming around shipping 500 products this year. So essentially we are, this is a value-based market. So it is not the number of products, but yeah. So that's essentially what we have been able to reach to with the aiding and also with our team's approach. But yeah, if that answers your question, Abhishek.
Yes, this answers one part of it. One other part that I wanted to check was actually you have stressed on the point that it definitely depends on the background of the founder, their expertise, and their mindset. And this is again the same to you, Nirav, as well. Because when I was going through the document list, it says that share evidence, publication, patents, prototype photos, and stuff. This is quite, in fact, very, very unique to my situation, Nirav, because I've actually built another robotics entity before. But now I'm doing it as a completely fresh and doing it in India because that was done internationally. So I wanted to take all that information that I've actually built and the robots and everything that I've done, but it will be part of that entity. Is that totally fine?
Yeah, so Abhishek, I remember you. We met in Delhi, so I'm
Yes,
very well aware of what you have done. Right. So yes. So look, also why we are asking you to share something is there is something which we say that while you do the TIR journey, we share the IP, right? Because it is taxpayers' money. As a part of the journey, we have to report something back to the government against the grants we give you.
right.
So that becomes also a channel to say, hey, you've done this. This is your IP and not created as a part of TIR, right? So that entire question is for that. And when you go through the TIR journey, whatever you build on top of it is what we say as a shared IP. It's not like we want to take away your IP, but as you convert it into a startup, once you've de-risked it enough and you convert it into startup, we put money in it, we take equity against it, and we give you with the IP, right? Because now we can go back to DST and say, now we have equity in your company. So I don't need the IP anymore. So because we have to show always that taxpayers' money is being used to build something, we initially hold the IP, and that reason to for you to show something is to say I've done this in the past. This IP belongs to me. Anything on top of it which I build which does not shown here is the new IP, and then as we translate, we'll hand over that IP to you into the SIP, right?
So, Vaibhav, sorry, Nirav, on that front, because that IP is held by another company, which right now I have shareholding, but I don't have the access to the right. So that's why I'm building my own
Yeah,
entity
that's
now.
fine. That's
So
perfectly
we can.
fine. Yeah.
So in terms of demonstrating, I can actually use the information or like all the robots that everything that was built under my leadership, I can use that information to demonstrate here, right? In terms of the evidence I can provide, right?
Yeah. We are not going to take that away or share it somewhere. It's just to know you. That's that.
Just because I want to make sure that because I really am very eager about this program, Nirav,
No
that's why I
worries.
want to
Yeah.
get
We
the.
will be glad to see you apply. You can reach out to me. I think you have my number also, but
Yes.
you can reach out to us and I'm happy to answer any questions, just in interest of Vamsi's time, right?
Yes. Thank you, Nirav. Thank you so much. Can I just one like 15-second answer? One last
If it is
is like
procedural, it's best you cover it directly, like either write to us on email or
yes.
when you text.
I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much.
Sarvana?
Hi, good evening. And I'm a PhD student about to complete my thesis. I'm currently filling the form, and I have a doubt regarding the recruiting more people in order to uh, uh, complete the goal that I want as part of this TIR program. So, is it possible? I have two people in mind. that who will uh, who have certain expertise who will help me to achieve my goal of taking it to building a MVP and get the pilot study as well in industry.
Sarvana, you can have up to 3 co-founders as TIR.
Yes.
Including you can be up two co-founders, if that was a question.
So the problem is, I don't know whether they will be of right now. I don't have I don't know whether they are the right people or not. So right now I'm
that we can't figure out for you. Look, I think it's best you figure that out, or you apply by yourself, and then over a period of time you work through, talking to them or someone else and figuring that out. But
so my question
I
is
don't know if you have a better response to that. How did you figure out who your co-founder is or best co-founder is?
Oh, that's a very interesting question, sir. I think it's like asking how do you figure out your soulmate, right? So it's
yeah. Whom do you follow, right?
There's no straight answer to it, but I think Sarvana Kumar, I think if you really feel that those people add value and you can build greater things with them, I think that's when you can say that this is my co-founder or whatever it is. But if you feel that you can build yourself, then I don't think you need any other soulmate. You are your own soulmate.
So my question is, if I get selected into a program, can we include a person as a team?
Yeah, you can include up to 2 people.
Okay.
Okay. Vaibhav, before I come to you, I'll just see if anyone else has a question, because I might just take a last question before we wrap up, right? In interest
No,
of
no, I lowered my hand. Sorry, it was my mistake.
All right. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Last question before we wrap up. Else I'll let Vamsi, have final statements, and then I wrap. Okay. Or Sumit, you have. Okay, Sumit, last question to you.
Yes, Neerav. Thank you. So, Neerav, just one last question. What exactly thing as a early founder or the milestone you are looking for right now for the application?
Sorry, I didn't get that question. What am I looking from a founder in the application?
Yes, as a founder, what exactly the milestone you would like the founder should be able to get it done before the application?
Yeah, look, I think you need to tell me what you want to do in the next 12 months. If we both have to spend time together, what are things where you need my help and what would you do in the 12 months, right? That is where we want you to. I think Vamsi also spoke about you having clarity in your mind about what you want to do, right? And that clarity is what we are looking for. We can help you with assistance, money, giving you space, maybe finding your soulmate, as Vamsi mentioned. But right, you still need to have some clarity on what is the next 6 to 12 months looking like. What type of customers you want to speak to, what sort of markets you want to go after, what sort of product you want to look at, right? And then the ISC professors can come and tell you how to change, certain things in your product to make it more reliable, better for the market or something. So
Okay, sounds good. As actually we are into MedTech Center, so we are at the very initial stage. We are building up the product right now. So looking forward for such mentoring and collaboration.
Sure. We love to back innovators and technologists who work for our country. So I love to see if you apply and build something very exciting together, both as an organization as well as a product, right?
Yes, absolutely. I will just get the application done. I will drop you the email as well about my startup.
Perfect. Vamsi, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I think nothing. All the best to everyone. Essentially, sorry, Sumit was mentioning something. Okay, so all the best to everyone. It's a great journey that's gonna be, I mean, towards what you are going to build, and I think looking forward to meet you someday in ARTPARK. That's essentially the thing. Just also feel free to reach out to Neerav, as he was mentioning, on any doubts, because just don't keep it to yourself and just feel free on that. That's something that can be done, right?
Well,
Thank
thanks
you
for.
both.
So, well, thank you everyone for joining. We could, glad Vamsi could take out the time to talk to you all. I always enjoy talking to him. We both share the same facility, so we meet practically very often. But very specifically, also what I wanted to, why I wanted to get Vamsi in was, he comes in, he's quite young and he's achieved a lot of things at a very young age, right? And he started at a TRL 2 level journey, figured out his way over the period of time, built something exciting. I know he has great plans for the future. He recently raised a lot of money also, and I don't know if that's official, so I can't really say that out. But yeah, yeah. But yes, he's doing something really exciting, right? He um, started at a TRL 2 level journey, moved towards building something on a hardware level, which is tough in itself. Go through that journey, have paying customers along the way, work across dual use cases, and also is now thinking of in building something really big and exciting for the future, right? So it's not only how you build the first product, but it is then how you build those pipelines and portfolios, right? And when I thought about this session, I couldn't think of a better person than Vamsi, right? Coming from humble backgrounds at a young age, going through the grit, determination, and the acumen which he has, it was one of the best platforms for you to sort of know from a person who has really achieved those things. So thanks, Vamsi. I know we sort of over time I asked you for being here, but thanks for staying back and really supporting us through the session and talking to all of us. Right. And thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions, I've dropped in my or my team's email on the chat. That is monitored by a few of us, so it's not only me. So we'll keep a watch out and look for all your applications. We are excited about what young people in our country are building, and we want to actually back all of you to the best of our ability. And good luck. And hopefully, as Vamsi said, we'll all meet you at ARTPARK someday and build something together. Thanks.
Thanks, Neera.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye.